r/AskReddit by Redmond Dts. Former fat people of Reddit. What's an actual trick that helped you lose weight? Dance Revolution. Played 60 plus songs a day plus an hour of riding my bicycle for 3 months. Dropped 30 something pounds. Drinking as much water as you're supposed to. Sometimes the body makes you think you're hungry when you're actually thirsty. If you want to exercise more, find an exercise you genuinely enjoy. If you hate running, you'll never be motivated to run. If you want to eat healthier, you have to find healthy foods you enjoy. If you think Greek yogurt is gross, you aren't going to eat it for breakfast instead of a bagel with cream cheese. When you get a craving for something, instead of telling yourself no, tell yourself later. It's a little psychological trick that seems to work for some reason. The human brain doesn't like never, but it can handle not now just fine. Weird, I know. Don't drink your calories. A soda does absolutely nothing for you besides add unnecessary calories. My personal rule of thumb is that I don't drink anything with calories unless it gets me drunk. All you need to drink is water. Consistency over intensity, both in terms of diet and exercise. As an exercise example, I kept falling into the trap of trying to reset my workouts to where I'd been at prior to gaining weight. So I'd plan workouts like a 5-mile run, or an hour of CrossFit. I'd do the workouts for a couple weeks, but lose steam because they just highlighted how far I'd fallen, left me exhausted, and eroded my willpower. Instead, I started easy, just go for an intentional 1-mile walk every single day. It didn't take long to start upping the distance, adding in hills, picking up the pace, jogging sections, etc. I did that for months before the workouts ever felt intense, by which time I was better prepared both physically and mentally. Same deal with eating. Instead of all salads no nachos, I started with just saying to myself, eat whatever you want, but you are only allowed to use a small plate. Over time I added other things I could consistently commit to, like using MyFitnessPal to roughly track caloric intake, adding 1 day of fasting a week, limiting sugar, booze, etc. Nothing you haven't heard, but seriously, baby steps that you can sustain over time will get you where you want to go eventually. Inconsistent heroics will not. Going to echo what other people said, and tell you what I did. Calorie reduction. It's simple. There's no fancy diet that works better than any others. The only possible way to lose weight is to eat less than you burn. How I did it. My biggest problem, as with most fat people, is impulse control. I simply could not keep myself in check for 100% of the day. I could be good for most of the day, but at some point I was going to have a moment of weakness and stop at a gas station to get a slutty candy bar or something. Knowing this about myself, I determined the issue was access. If I had access to bad food, I was going to get it. I needed to figure out how to limit my access. The solution. I stopped bringing my check card to work. If I don't have money, I can't buy food. To be clear, I am not recommending this at all. I would sometimes go almost 24 hours without eating and it was detrimental to my energy levels and mood. The positives were I lost 100 pounds and saved a ton of money. I just can't in good conscience say someone else should do the same thing. It's just what worked for me. Actually weighing portions out helped me. Turns out I had no idea what a cinch serving was. I was astounded when I saw how much cereal is in one serving. I must have previously been eating around 2-3 servings. I switched from a desk job to an on your feet physical job. I switched the other way and got fat. Get a job that involves constant movement. Started mine in August of last year and I've already dropped about 20 pounds. I started walking every night after work. I tracked my mileage and listened to podcasts. After a while I started adding a little running. The key was to just stick with it. I've lost around 80 pounds, although I will never know exactly how heavy I really got. I was almost 300. I'm now like 210ish. I did 1 meal a day for a few months. Not the best way to go about it, but it worked. I've kept the weight off to cause I don't feel I need to eat as much. I drink probably not enough water, but when I do drink it's either water or tea. Once in a while I get a soda. No exercise, but I'm hoping after visiting the spine specialist that I'll be able to do something. We shall see. A bunch of unhelpful people are going to come in here and state the obvious. Just eat fewer calories. As if human beings were perfectly rational machines, governed by math alone, and totally indifferent to feelings of pleasure and discomfort. My advice would be not to take those comments seriously. The best weight loss advice comes from people who understand that something simple in theory can be very difficult in practice. Eat less, move more. It's not about tricks, it's a permanent change of lifestyle that does it. Intermittent fasting. It's not for everyone, but I had a friend, shout out to Yoga Jeff, when I was eating fast food 3 times a day and not exercising, who yes said to eat less and move more. And when I said I couldn't give up soda, he said to try the intermittent fasting 5 days a week. I started out still eating poorly but limiting it to 2p to 6p, and I did this for a month. Arby's, McDonald's, Firehouse, all of that. I lost 10 pounds. It made sense since I went from 3 fatty meals a day to 1 or 2. Then I started drinking diet soda and lost another 5 pounds. Then Jeff suggested I start making the most of my 4 hours with healthy options. I went from Big Macs to Blue Apron and back to Panera. I started choosing healthier meals. It's not always perfect, and Lord knows I'm not bikini ready. But I went from XXXL to XL in a month. I had to pull over and use the restroom at a grocery store on the way home every day or I would get sick. That stopped immediately. My favorite go-to is pan-fried salmon and pan-fried Brussels sprouts. I still love soda, but I do mostly zero sugar these days, which I realize is still bad, but I'm doing a lot better than I was. Within 6 months I went from having to buy my bras at Lane Bryant to finally being able to buy a bra at Victoria's Secret. I know they are owned by the same company. And another tip, get a bra that fits. It makes all the difference in your body and your self-esteem. Get measured for one. Intermittent fasting worked great for me, but I regained the weight incredibly fast and have been struggling with any sort of food limitation, even just trying to eat a reasonable diet. I had previously lost 40 pounds eating a moderate calorie deficit and tracking via MyFitnessPal. I regained some of that weight during my first couple years of university, but the regain after fasting was extreme. So yeah, I'm not sure it works for everybody in the long term, especially if you have disordered eating to begin with. Intermittent fasting for the win. For me that means skip breakfast and don't eat after 8 PM. I lost 50 pounds by starving myself. I do not recommend it, but for some reason I've only been able to lose it and keep it off by severely restricting. Even though I eat nothing but healthy foods, I still gain if I eat a normal amount of food. I'm in a healthy weight now, but damn does it suck to think about food constantly. Reminding myself what I wanted to look like. I took small steps. All the other comments appear to be more vague than my overall solution. Cut out all drinks with calories. Period. 2 drinks, water, black coffee. Lost roughly 35 pounds over this alone. And in like a month as well. I recommend this for literally anyone trying to lose weight as your first step. Seeing the pounds fly off was fantastic. Started exercising. Specifically stretching. Lost 0 pounds but felt great. This promoted further weight loss. Started walking. Switched to a job where I walked 5 to 7 miles a day. Lost about 20 pounds. Started cutting out food. Not all at once. I just started ordering less. Example, I used to eat an entire pizza, breadsticks, and a few sauce containers. I told myself 1 fewer slice this month, then it became 2, then 3, etc. I did lose weight, but over a year it was like 25ish pounds. I changed my breakfast and lunch to something healthy. I started eating boiled eggs and a small slice of cheese plus black coffee. Lunch became 2 boiled eggs, fruit, cheese. Sometimes yogurt instead of fruit. I'm still working on dinner. Began exercising at home when my job slowed down with all the walking. I now do a bit of cardio and weightlifting. I've put on muscle. So despite maintaining the 240-250 range, I'm slimmer than when I was walking. I went from 350 pounds to 250. And I only got that fat as a result of medication that causes lethargy, weight gain, even with a set diet, and causes hunger. Then I lost about 30 pounds at the gym. Then got into a car crash and gained the 30 more. That being said, after the crash I was so depressed that food literally saved my life. I think if I didn't eat I would have literally killed myself. Depression is now gone for the curious. All of my steps have not been temporary, which I think is key. Marijuana also helped me curb my appetite. I don't recommend it, but when I'm not high I am not ever nearly as hungry. I'm also more motivated to work out. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.